Hey everyone. Something I said I would share a few days ago, which I have not got around to yet, but I'm sort of, I've been thinking about it a bit, and it makes a bit of sense with everything I've seen in the last 10-15 years with people who are sensitive to EMFs. So those people who go into cities and feel wiped out, or people who go into shopping centres and feel wiped out because of the amount of people. And we've always sort of assumed part of it was all the the lighting, so basically all the lighting can make it really hard for the brain to think. And so check out Dr. Thomas Cowan. He had a really interesting idea, and there's been a book written about it, and I'll find out the name of it and I'll put it in my notes. Please contact me if I forget to do that. I'll try to do that. But basically it was saying that people with the higher heavy metal levels in their bodies, and I know, people don't want to believe that heavy metals build up in the body. That's your belief system, and that's fine, but it's simply not true. I do heavy metal testing. It's one of the things I do in my clinic as a naturopath. And we use scientific testing. It's been around in Europe for like 30 years. So it's been around a long time. So anyway, what this Dr. Thomas Cowan said is that people with the highest levels of heavy metals in their body are those who have the biggest problems with EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies. And of course, where he was going with this conversation was talking about 5G, and he said that every time there's been a major shift in radio frequencies on the planet, which is often to do with wars or to do with big shifts in the telecommunications industry, there's been a pandemic. Now, obviously, unlike the people 6 months ago, I'm not saying that 5G towers are releasing coronavirus into the atmosphere. That's not what I'm saying. But there is a lot of indications that electromagnetic frequencies lower our immune systems. So those people with that combination of high levels of heavy metals, which can come from all sorts of things. We know that things like fish have got, some fish like tuna has high levels of mercury. No one ever argues that as a fact. Pregnant women try to avoid it all around the world. We know that swordfish has high levels of heavy metals, like mercury. So yes, obviously this links in with vaccinations. So if we start having mandatory vaccinations for every man, woman and child on the planet, which is the plan by the Gates Foundation and World Health Organization, they have said this is the decade of vaccination. They want everyone vaccinated, and they don't just want one. I would also recommend you watch 1986 The Act, which is a movie just released by Dr. Andy Wakefield. Or he's produced it, and it talks about the act in America, where basically pharmaceutical companies who create vaccines or biologicals, as they are known, cannot get sued for any damage that happens to do with biologicals. And that started because there were such huge payouts for vaccinations back prior to 1986, obviously, that pharmaceutical industries were not wanting to make vaccines anymore. So, they had to come up with a solution because, of course, something that is so safe, safe as sugar water, then obviously it needs something huge like that to protect it, doesn't it? Anyway, so Dr. Thomas Cowan, his comment was, the lower your mineral levels and the lower your essential fatty acid levels, but the main ones we know we need in our bodies to mineralize our bones and our muscles. We need, calcium, magnesium, potassium, hugely important for the nervous system. Every time we have vaccine or heavy metals, we can destroy the gut bacteria, so probiotics are really important. If you are drinking, I know I've said this before and people hate me for it, but if you're drinking normal tap water and it contains fluoride and chlorine, then you're killing your gut bacteria every day. So therefore a probiotic can be a good idea to help to, reverse that, or making your own kombucha tea, or having really good yogurt, quark, that sort of thing, helping you, just getting that real probiotic energy going on in your gut, protecting your microbiome. So the higher the level of heavy metal, what he said was it basically makes you attract the EMFs, which was really interesting because he had never even thought about the whole vaccine connection to it until a year ago. So, and I had never heard that connection. So high heavy metals, low mineral levels equals higher EMF sensitivity, which can make you exhausted, anxious, depressed, suicidal, make you more prone to all sorts of inflammatory disease. So that's just a few thoughts. And, this one has been, ticking around in my brain for a couple of weeks since I saw the Dr. Thomas Cowan interview. And once again, because of 1986, the Act, there's an interview with, who was it? Someone was interviewing Dr. Andy Wakefield in the last few days. But if I find it, I'll put it into my saved. I've got a playlist for doctors and researchers. So if I find it, I'll pop it in there. Of course, it will probably get taken off at some stage fairly soon. But it's been an interesting year for collecting information, isn't it? And hope you're all well. Take care. Do your own research. Don't take my word for it, of course. But I was listening to a dude in the States this morning again, and he's a truck driver, and he kept seeing all this 5G equipment just being taken around the place, like he was driving from one side to another. And he spoke to two different guys who were working on the 5G, and they both sort of made the comment that they can be set to a certain level of 5G in there. And one of them at 20% killed animals around it, and the other one at 40%. So they were set at 20 and 40% of the maximum they can be set to, and they were just killing animals around. So we've just got to hope that our governments really do have our own best interests at heart. We've got to hope that some good happens. You have to protect yourself everywhere you can. But definitely making sure you keep eating your greens, having your exercise, drinking plenty of purified water, getting your sunshine, getting your fresh air, getting into the ocean whenever you can, or, sort of just making sure you're doing everything you can to keep yourself as healthy as possible, because the next year we're going to all be really vulnerable. So take care. See you later.